I would like to talk about two 15-year-olds. One is my daughter, Emma, and the other is Malala, the girl who was shot by the Taliban for wanting to go to school. And her story inspires me so much on so many different levels. And the fact that we take so much for granted. We grow up, we become educated, we go off to school. We shouldn't have to have any other thoughts about that. We shouldn't have to fear that. And this young girl, from the age of like 10 or 11, knew what she wanted to do, was willing to stand up for her beliefs, and had the courage to do it even when she knew there was the potential danger.
I feel very fortunate that, I have a hard time naming one person. I have surrounded myself with so many incredible women in my life. And when I think about that, how fortunate I am. I would say that my mother's an inspiration to me every day. She's 82 years old and she's just, so energetic and positive.
So I think the lady that comes to mind is a family friend. We don't know if she's actually related to us, so it's a very interesting family secret. But for me, the one thing that was really great about her is that she was non-judgmental. She was open to any being is really what it was. It was like kids, grandkids, family members, strangers. She was really welcoming people, and she didn't mind using a bad word or having a drink or even a cigarette, but everything was in moderation. And I think of her very fondly because she was just a great nature, a lovely person to be with and think about.
Well, there's actually one person that's had the biggest influence on my life, whether it's a man or a woman, and that's my mother. She raised us under incredibly difficult circumstances, always seemed to manage to present to us a positive outlook. And, we didn't really feel the pressures. She took on the pressures amongst ourselves. Our biggest concern was how come the neighbor got a new bike and we got a used bike, where she was, we realize now that she was under tremendous stress and pressures, but always fought to keep myself and my two brothers healthy and positive and move things forward.
I had actually chosen Elizabeth May as the person that I was going to talk about, and then it dawned on me that I have somebody in my house that inspires me every day, and I didn't even really give her consideration. Part of the reason is because she's not quite a woman yet, because I'm talking about my daughter Sarah. Sarah's 14 now, or will be in a couple of months, and when she was born with clicky hips. Hip dysplasia is the actual technical term for it, but what inspires me about my daughter is that she is just out there. She's the social person. She knows everybody in her school by first name. She knows all their moms, all their dads, all the teachers. She's never let it stop her. She's never let it get her down. And I'm just so proud that she's my daughter.
And the fact that she, by doing that, became, at the age of 13 or 14, a threat to something as big as the Taliban, because she was daring to challenge that. And then I juxtapose that with my own 15-year-old daughter, who is beautiful and talented and smart and heads off to school every morning without giving it a second thought. And when I think about who inspires me, Malala inspires me to stand up for my convictions and to be able to speak out. And Emma inspires me to keep doing the work that we're doing, all of us here today, because I want her to grow up being able to take things like that for granted, being able to know that it is her right to be strong and independent and educated in this world that we live in.
Think about who is inspirational or influential in my own life, it's true, it's so hard to think of just one person. And today I've been listening to the things that other women have been saying, and there's just a whole load of people that I could think about. But if I'm really being honest, I mean, of course I can talk about the people in my daily life. There's my children, my mother, sisters, all of those people, and I don't want to discount them because they're huge. But I have to honestly talk about the people in the countries. I feel strongly that we should be standing up for the things that we believe in, because we're allowed to stand up and say whatever we want to say. But whereas we're talking about people in other countries who aren't even allowed to speak their thoughts, never mind, have those thoughts. So I have to say, I maybe don't have specific names, but absolutely it's those, the young women in some of the Middle Eastern countries who have no rights, the women in Kenya, all of the places that we saw represented on 1 Billion Rising who stood up in a time that it was difficult when they weren't allowed really to stand up, but did it anyways because it was the right thing to do. Those are the ones that I'm most inspired by.
The common quality is the courage to stand up for what you believe. That is huge for me. So women all over the world, all the women who stand up in Africa for, despite all odds, the tree people in India, Mate Wingara, all of those women, those wonderful women. Eve Ensler, today, especially on International Women's Day, oh my goodness, they just blow me away with their courage, and I'm getting all shivery just thinking about them, because they know why they're here. See, and that's what we need to hear from other women. This is my journey. This is why I'm here. I'm here to do this for the planet and everyone on it, and they're doing it. They're living what they're here for, and so that's why they inspire me.